Yep.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, we got to do the obligatory live stream thing. Are we on? Can you hear me? Is it? Hello? No, is it? No, I'm kidding. I love everybody. It just seems like no matter how many times everybody's done this, it's like the first thing they do. Like professional physicists and doctors, that's the first thing they do. Is like, is it? Are you get? Okay. But yeah, welcome everybody to this quarantine version of Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. You know, I was thinking, Richard, when you go to archive these, maybe you should like do a subdirect. You know, it's like episode 495 Q. You know. So, Rich, how's everything been going?
Good. Getting things around. Trying to finish up my college. I still got one class to finish, but
that's awesome. That is fantastic, and it's got to be even more difficult with everything being the way that it is.
Yeah, I'll make it. I just have to graduate OSU, and then I'll have to figure out something after that.
Off talk if you want to talk about it later, but how did we talked about the possible job at a local TV station?
Still have not heard.
It happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, that's not a no. Like my current job that I have right now, it took me like a couple weeks before they got back with me. So
well, that's what I'm hoping. So who knows?
But lot to talk about. We didn't get a chance to. What was it? We didn't get to last week, right? My days.
No, we didn't do last week. We were off last week because you was on that new time schedule. So
yes, yeah, I switched from third shift to second shift, so I was like in literal jet lag. And yeah, I'm on second shift now, which means for us Fridays aren't going to happen, but you know, like we're doing it tonight and it's fine. And for me, it's nice being on a normal human schedule. Like Richard, I didn't just wake up 5 minutes ago, you know. So yeah, it's been really good. Yeah, we didn't get to talk last week. So that means we got not one, but we got two episodes of Stargirl to talk about.
Yeah, and a lot of things are changing.
Yes, it is. I'm telling you, Rich, I'm loving Stargirl. I really do enjoy that show. One of the things I enjoy about it is there's absolutely no ties to the other CW shows, which not that it's a bad thing that the other shows do, you know, because they normally don't. Like Supergirl, even after, which is strange, even after the big conglomeration, they still hardly reference each other, just like in passing, you know, like they know people.
Yeah, I think. Well, the multiverse is still there. That was the weirdest thing about this crisis. The multiverse still existed. It didn't become one.
Yes, because it just dropped. I just saw it yesterday. Another DC show had its first season 2 trailer yesterday.
Oh yeah.
But we'll talk about that in a minute. Right now, Stargirl. I am, yeah. The cast is still really impressing me. I like the young actress they have playing Courtney. Luke Wilson is still. I really dig him because, you know, him and Courtney have this great dynamic where he's her stepdad, and he's also been relegated to being her sidekick. Which was great when she called him out on it, like, you're my sidekick.
Yeah, I like it when they went up against Icicle there in that one episode.
Yes. Yeah.
She was
that was hard.
Yeah, she was on the back riding in, and then all of a sudden it got cold, and then he froze up and everything. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And it was one of those great learning moments, too, for her that I really hope that she, you know, well, so far she's still not listening to her stepdad. He's like, it's a trap. Don't. And then, you know, the frozen crap hit the fan, you know, and she's she's still reeling from it, which is, I hate to say it, but in terms of superheroes, having that kind of personal loss and a loss you're responsible for is always really good for character development.
Yeah, yeah. I think, like I said, I really like it because it's really reflecting the original comic really well. I don't
It
know if
really
you've read any of
is.
those old episodes or issues or not, but I really enjoy them.
Hmm.
I know you.
I a little bit. I remember buying issues, but I was never an avid collector.
Yeah, I was reading. I liked it because of Jeff Johns' writing. He was writing and
Yeah.
everything, and of course he's on the series, so I can see why it's so faithful.
Hmm.
And if you get a chance, a DC Universe does have either the issue 0 or issue 1 available to read, so it kind of
Yes.
gives you a
Yeah, they
chance
do.
to catch up. So
Yeah. Which we've talked about DC Universe, and it's almost, they're doing that thing where it's just like, I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to quit. Hey, here's some books that you might not. I was like, oh man, they still got just enough to keep me going for at least a little while longer. Yeah, those 2 episodes of Stargirl, we get to see her forming her version of the JSA, which I thought, I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I like their who they're going to have taking over as Wildcat. I really dug that. I really liked that character, and I really liked the way they amped up her suit. You know what I mean? I thought that was a nice little touch, that it wasn't just like a black gym suit, or what I mean?
yeah, because it was the original costume that the original Wildcat wore. Because I loved it when she smelled the helmet.
That was, oh god, that was hilarious. It's like, I'm not putting this on. It smells like a gym sock. And I like it because it, how do I put it? We know where the show's going. We have an idea where the show's going, and it's nice knowing that they have the material to go, because we've seen Wildcat.
Right.
The last preview I saw, I think, is going to be the one like the girl that's obsessed with her parents. Yeah, the girl that's obsessed with her parents. That they tag.
Dr. Midnight is what she's going to get, because she's going to get the goggles and stuff.
Yeah, and the ones I'm really looking forward to that.
And then we got Our Man coming.
Our Man, you know what I mean? There's plenty to come. You know what I mean? And it's not just going to be a freak of the week. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Freak of the Week, where they're going to have a highlighted character, but it's not the Freak of the Week. It's supporting character of the week. It's team member of the week. The one I am really super excited, and I don't know. I want to see how they're going to pull off Green Lantern, because we've seen she has the lantern, and it might be one of those things. Maybe they can't. It's not like I mean. It's not like a Wildcat suit that anybody could put on. It's the ring has to choose somebody. The lantern's broke. So maybe not. But I do like the little bit of foreshadowing they're doing with Johnny Lightning.
Oh, yeah.
Where she clicked a pin and nothing happened. And then like a second later, you hear it giggling like, oh, something's coming. And definitely interested in seeing how much the town itself is going to be playing into the show.
Oh, yeah, because it's like the villains are like encased within the whole, because the huntress, or the villain huntress, is like the principal of the school.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the other, and then we got when they went into I can't think of his name, the one with the green hood.
Oh, what the I know who you're talking about, because he had the lizardy eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could tell he's like not quite human underneath there.
Yeah, I was trying to
Yeah,
look it up real quick. I couldn't find it fast enough.
and that was a great. Oh, that was a great little moment too when they were talking about what's his name's being dead, and the guy in the green hood was like, "Can I have his body?" And you're like, "Dude, go!" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." Me and you talked about it. One other thing we wanted to mention real quick, because since we're talking about CW shows, in past episodes of this show, you have heard me talk and praise from the Flash the character Elongated Man. He
Oh,
really was. He really was one of my favorite characters. I believe I even mentioned I would love to have seen him have his own spinoff. Real quick, I feel the need. I need to mention this here. Recently, it's come out that the actor Hartley Sawyer has been terminated from the CW because of some very bad tweets that were brought up from his past, and the CW, rightly so, just said, "No, you're out." And that was devastating for me and a few other of our friends who really love this character. And when you find out that this character that you really like and this actor that at the time you really like and enjoy and respect is capable of stuff, it just feel the need to it's that disclaimer: we do not advocate what he did. We do not we don't like it. He did bad, and he's gone. Had I an action figure of him, I would have chucked it. And it will be interesting to see. Man, see, if you think about it, Richard, CW's not having any luck with their actors just up and leaving right now.
yeah.
Because he's out, so I'm sure the writers are scrambling. Did you read the latest word from CW is that they will not be replacing the character of
Kate Kane.
Kate Kane? What do you think about that?
Another Batwoman. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
It's going to be a younger character, so what are they doing? They're trying to do what's her name? I can never remember her name. The
Cassandra.
Yeah,
Cassandra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, this is one of those moments when you're watching me and him do a show, and this time you got to see a live where he mentioned something that I legitimately hadn't thought of. Yes. Because I gotta admit, I was a little disappointed that they weren't going to they weren't just going to replace the actress for the same character, because I was really digging the character.
Yeah, me too.
But when they announced, the great tie. I mean, just the family tie to Bruce Wayne was going to lead to so much possible storytelling, and to not do that just seemed, I don't know. There's going to be so many ramifications too, because think about the relationship that she has with Cara Danvers, Supergirl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like the two of them were just teaming. They had they had the Batman Superman dynamic going on. I was very looking forward to seeing the world's finest with the two of them.
Yeah, I was hoping they actually just replace the character with I like to saw that Wallace Day from Krypton replace.
Yes.
Because I know she was really petitioning hard to take over, and I thought she would be a good. I always liked her from Krypton, so
Same here. Yeah, it was surprising. So, I mean, between that huge shift in that show, and then at least with what's going on in the Flash, it won't be such an upheaval. It won't change the entire dynamic of the show like them changing Batwoman did. It's just like, oh man, Ralph's dead, or and I had mentioned this. I one of our mutual friends, me and him, have a conversation because we were both really heartbroken about it. Let me ask your opinion of this, Richard. I don't know how I feel about it yet. It's just it's just a thought that I had. elongated man is flexible. He could change the way he looks. So
Yeah.
do you think it would be possible for, like, maybe something happened and, like, it's a Flash. He got shot with a metagene and his face did that, and he's still Ralph Dibny, but he just can't look, the way that he did.
Right, or just do the old B-wish and don't even address it.
Exactly. I'm of those two schools. It's just a matter of how they want to handle it, because he kind of tainted the character. True. Do they want to continue with the character, or do they want to bring somebody, else on? I'm with you, Rich. I would very much like to see them replace the character or replace the actor, because Ralph Dibny himself, the character is still a great character.
Oh, there was so much rich history there, especially with his introduction to his wife this season, more or less. I mean, I know she's sort of appeared before, but this season they really started being the chemistry there. So
yes, and let's face it, as working class people that we are, Richard, from the actress's point of view who plays Sue, everything that's going on is terrible. But when the character that you're directly tied to has that kind of, as a human being, she's like, oh God, am I going to lose my job?
No,
you know what I mean? She's like, shit, that's got to piss her off, just as much. And you got to admit, we know from watching, panels and everything, that the CW shows, Arrow, all them, that's a very tight-knit cast. You see them in person and you see them in public. They're legitimately a family, so I can only imagine. Because nobody's came out, really, except for the CW, and made a statement. But you gotta imagine how, like, a kick in the nards that had to be to everybody. So
yeah, it's one of them things.
So, so we got that stuff coming up. We'll mention real quick too. What we mentioned earlier is the Doom Patrol.
Oh yeah.
I was so tickled by that, because that was one of those things that the trailer literally dropped on me. Like, I was like, what do you mean trailer? You know what I mean? We'd gotten so used to the trailer's trailer, or the preview of the trailer. It wasn't like, we saw just like Doom Patrol Season 2 trailer coming soon. No, that trailer dropped and it looked really good. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be like 3 episodes right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
On day 1, we're going to have 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
At least on HBO Max. Is it still on DC Universe or not?
It is still on. I don't know if it's going to continue to be.
Because all the marketing on their Facebook page looks like it's just going to be on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it is DC Universe. I take that back. On May 28th posting, it did still say DC Universe. So, I don't know, maybe on HBO Max we get 3 episodes, and then DC Universe trickles in? I don't know.
Possible. Or, because the way the CW and DC's been doing, it's going to be interesting to see, because, like, you can see episodes of Stargirl days before on the DC Universe app before it drops on the CW. Yeah.
Because it's like on DC Universe on Monday, Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, and then on the CW app on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, because I know I get up on Monday morning and I actually watch the episode, because I still got my DC Universe, so I still watch it there.
I did too, man, because it was nice. This first week being on first shift, I woke up and I was like, oh, I don't have to be at work for hours. Time for some lunch and some Stargirl. I was like, yes. But no, it looks really good. And the one takeaway that I got from the trailer was this. It seems like this season is going to be focusing them on being a family.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean, Rich?
yeah, yeah.
Because the first season was them reluctantly just like being housemates and occasionally having to do stuff together because they didn't have a choice.
Right.
Oh, sorry, I put my glass. It's still me, Rich. Sorry, I'm old school DC. Like, oh, who's that guy? Oh, I left the computer. I don't need to look up anything. But no, it seemed like that was going to be the theme for this season was them going to be a family, and that was the thing about Doom Patrol that always, you read Doom Patrol a lot more than I did. I will admit I was a dabbler, but they always had that family connection to each other.
Depend on which group it was.
True. Yes, I'm probably thinking of the runs that I read.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like when they first was introduced way back in the 50s or the 60s there, that was different, I kind of like those because I actually read a bunch of those digitally later on. I have a couple issues, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked the team. I liked when they tried to launch it there when was it Joe Staten was drawing it there when they reintroduced it in the 80s.
Oh, in the 80s, yeah. I think I'm almost certain that was around the time that I was into it.
Okay, that was a really good run right there. And then, of course,
yeah,
all the other incarnations, all the characters and stuff. So that's what I like about the series. It doesn't necessarily use one generation of the character. It actually dabbles through all of them, and then it throws Cyborg into it.
Yeah,
yeah. Because in the comics, he was never part of the Doom Patrol. That was always weird.
No. Yeah, and he seems to be, well, not seems to be, he seems like a better fit to me in Doom Patrol than he did the Justice League.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it always just kind of seemed like in the Justice League he was the boom tube guy, or he was just the tech guy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, we need this hard drive. Get Vic over here. But it seems like in the Doom Patrol, the show, he's kind of the one that's unifying the team. Like he tried to do team building exercises with him, for God's sake.
Well, I don't know. Maybe this is a reflection, but we might be able to see maybe the Justice League was a little different with him. Because I heard that Snyder's cut's going to have a total different version of Cyborg. So
I can't. Oh, man. I am looking forward to that. I really am. And speaking of, God, we're so good on the segues. Speaking of DC movies, you mentioned the Snyder Cut. It was just released here recently. They pushed back the date for Wonder Woman 1984.
Right.
What I'm for, just because I really want to see that at the theater. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like so many of the movies here lately that have come out, it's great. Like one of the ones I toot on the most was, when they were quick, because I missed it at the theater, but they were very quick to bring Sonic the Hedgehog to VOD. And, a few movies, The Invisible Man.
Yeah, I actually saw that at the theater. That was my last movie at the theater.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, yeah.
How did you like it, Richard? I
liked it. It was a very different take, and I don't know. I really enjoyed being a technology-driven, more Invisible Man than the science, So
right.
It worked, and then of course, the abusive relationship and stuff like that. That was played out.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say well, but you know what I'm saying. It was really strong. That should be the word to use.
Right. It like really preys on one of the most primal fears is Is there somebody here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's like universal. Like not everybody's scared of snakes. Not everybody's scared of spiders. Well, everybody's scared of clowns. But it's like that one underlying fear everybody has is, did I just see something move, or did I just hear a footstep?
Right.
Something else I got to watch here very recently. DC is the Justice League Dark, the Apocalypse War.
Oh, how was that?
That was good. I really enjoyed it. I like the take on it. You get the sense that all of the DC animated movies here very recently have stemmed from the New 52.
Right.
This one appears to be the bookend.
Oh, okay.
Because toward the end, they very blatantly mention Flashpoint.
Oh.
And it was I enjoyed it very, very much. It was very good.
I haven't watched it yet, so I'm gonna have to pick it up. I was waiting for DC Universe, but like you said, they haven't even put that on there yet.
No. And I'm at the point now where here's how much I did like it. I rented it off of VOD, and here recently I was at a mart, and I saw that it's for sale, and I checked the special features, and if anybody, how good DC animated movies have been with their special features, they'll showcase like old, like maybe Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cartoons, and additional shorts. This one had them too, and I'm like, you sons, yeah. And of course, it really focuses around Constantine. So, I was going to be into it. And and what they did, oh my God, I won't spoil anything, but it was pretty much, we were introduced to Darkseid back in, what was it, Justice League War. And they lost in this,
wow.
and they lost in this. And this, I don't want to spoil anything, but what they did with Superman, I was like, that's get. Oh man, wow. It was really, yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. It did. It really lived up to DC's level with their DC animated features. I really enjoyed it. I really think you'd enjoy it too.
Oh, cool.
We saw Etrigan.
Wow.
We got to see a really unique take on Etrigan, and I did. I enjoyed it. I really do recommend that one. I recommend picking that one up.
So what do you think about them? The one that plays Superman might be popping in some other movies or something. All the rumors and stuff.
Oh, Henry Cavill?
Yeah. I mean, are they going to do this? I mean, this is just.
I hope so.
This is weird. Would he actually be able to do like little roles or something? Is that what they're talking about doing?
He might. I think. I don't know, because we know Aquaman's going to be ongoing. Well, as of right now, you know what I mean? Yeah. Hollywood. But we know there's plans for more Aquaman. We definitely know there's more plans for Wonder Woman, because there's going to be another Wonder Woman movie.
No, November the 2nd, hopefully.
Yeah. So we know that's continuing. Anything revolving the Flash and Cyborg is still in the air. Nobody's really come out and said anything official.
And Flash has problems himself, so
yeah,
that movie might not happen. So
I know. I don't think that I know very little about the upcoming Batman movie. I know it's supposed to be, I don't want to say a prequel, but it's going to be set in the very early days of Batman being Batman.
Right.
I don't know, Rich. Is that going to take place within the DCU?
I heard it's going to be its own universe or something.
See, I'd heard that too. So we don't know what's going on with Batman. But Henry Cavill's he's come out and said in the interview, he's up for doing. He's not done being Superman.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
And
Warner Brothers.
exactly, and true, But the thing about it is, so people have issues with Man of Steel, and they had issues with Justice League. I don't fault Henry for that. I thought he made a good Superman.
Right.
It was just the writing behind the movies that was,
Well, if Snyder gets his way and gets his cut, who knows what might happen after that?
Yeah.
And we got HBO Max, so who knows? Maybe he'll get a series on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Superhero of the Week or something,
Yeah. Hey, Rich, real quick, are you still? We're doing that live streaming thing. Can you still see and hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because my screen froze up. I want to see something here. There we go. Am I still there?
Yeah.
Okay. It just froze up on me, and we've had it happen before, Rich, where me and Richard have been doing the podcast, and Rich got cut off, and I talked for like a half an hour because that's the way I am. And finally, I'm in the middle of the podcast, and I get a phone call from Richard, and I'm like, "What? Oh God!" But
yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I really. I do. I want to see Henry Cavill. I want to see more of Henry Cavill as Superman, and I hope we do.
DC's got a bunch of new places, so you never know. HBO Max has got money, so.
And I just found out here recently, Richard, because I was really disappointed that as of right now, when I checked last week, because I stream everything off of a Roku, and they still didn't have HBO Max. It wasn't even listed. HBO Go was, but not HBO Max. But I just saw here recently that Hulu was going to make HBO Max available.
Oh, really?
And they've done that before. They did that with HBO before, where you can get HBO through Hulu. So all the programming, was there. And when I saw that HBO Max was going to be available, it was kind of like, well, hey, DC Universe,
It's weird though. I was hearing weird things where some of the content was disappearing already. The DC stuff was disappearing, but then all of a sudden they retracted and said that some of it was still going to be available, but it was only at the launch. So what do they do? Because some of the not the copyrights, but the streaming rights is tied up in other places and stuff. So they had to make all these deals and stuff at the launch. So
I can barely even imagine what kind of legal logistics are behind that, because me and you, Richard, we're old school. We remember networks.
Yeah.
We remember CBS. We remember the big three plus the floaters, and it was a whole thing where if you saw an actor that was on NBC, you never saw them on a CBS show, or you never saw them on. They never really crossed over like that.
Right.
And now that you have these streaming platforms where it's just like this one, you know what I mean? There's so many more tentacles.
Yeah.
In the octopus pond when it comes to, legal logistics.
Well, that's just like the Disney Plus, they was getting the Star Wars, and now they finally got all 9 Star Wars movies together.
Yeah.
That took some doing because some of their rights was tied up with their contract with TNT, I think. Because I just watched the first one on TNT the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to... I don't know. It's just weird.
It's like here recently, the big thing with like Deadpool, he's a Marvel character, but he's stolen by Fox. It's but that, now, but on...
but now it's together.
I know. It's we talked about this before, Richard. It's kind of like a be careful what you wish for. It's kind of like that old the folklore with the genie, where the genie grants you your wish, but it's very specific to your exact wording of the wish. It's like, I wish I was a millionaire, but it's like,
Yeah.
it ends up screwing you. You know what I mean? It's like one of those Edgar Allan Poe things where it's just like, I really wish all this stuff would just be streaming. Well, you got your wish, but you didn't word your wish properly.
I want to be by myself in a library with all the books. And then you break your glasses.
Oh, that's perfect. Well done. Oh, going the Deep Burgess Meredith cut. And for you watching, me and Richard are both two glasses wearing older men. So that episode, that one really terrifies us, Because, early, in the younger days, you're like, oh, that would be messed up. But now we're of that age, we're like, oh, my God. Oh, I couldn't imagine, Oh, something else I wanted to talk about, Richard, is I know it's been hitting me and you, the whole COVID-19 thing, which I'm still taking very seriously. Like where I work, you have to wear the mask. It does seem like within the last couple weeks, it's become a lot. Have you noticed that, Richard? It's become a lot. Not the rules, but people's interpretation has become a lot lax.
Yeah, but a lot of people starting to die.
Yeah, because I take it very seriously. Where I work, it's mandatory. I was very happy the last couple weeks that the comic book store opened. I wear my mask to the store. The employees there wear their masks. When I have gone to the grocery store, I would say a good 75 to 80% of the people shopping were wearing their masks. All the employees, everywhere I've gone, all the employees have been wearing their masks. But the last couple weeks, Richard, it's dropped dramatically. Example, just earlier today, I had to stop by the mart by the wall. And I wore my mask. And I'm just looking around. And it's just like, you've learned you got to keep your mouth shut. But it's just like, you want to, people, this isn't done. It hasn't gone away, and we're due for that. Well, I had read recently, everybody's worried about that second outbreak. It's like, we're not even done with the first one yet, people.
Right. Yeah.
But I digress. It was really nice to be able to go to the comic book store, but all the cons that have been canceled, a lot of our favorite shows, a lot of the shows that we've been looking forward to, even Richard, the Renaissance Festival is still tentative.
No.
They're still holding out because we're still months away.
Right.
But I have friends that work the Renaissance fairs, and not just the Ohio one. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of the people that work at this Renaissance fair also work at ones across the country, and I have friends that have had the shows canceled, and they've had to make do. So it's really affecting everybody.
Yeah,
but a lot of the.
But it'd be the reality. The plague was back in Renaissance.
I know. A friend of mine mentioned that to me. There was even a meme.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
It was even a meme of it, and I'm like, points for the joke. That was very well done. And I also saw one, Richard. And again, we're old enough. We remember that. It's probably not a typical saying anymore. But remember the old expression, Richard? Oh, I'm going to avoid that like the plague.
Yeah.
They said we have to do away with that because we're in a plague and we've seen people don't avoid it.
Right.
So that's BS. But me and Richard, we go to a lot of these shows. We get to see and support our friends. We do interviews with them to help publicize them, which is one of the things I love about us, Richard. I had a friend of mine ask me not too long ago, somebody who was, that I've just met, they asked me, we go to the shows and we do interviews like, oh, you ever interview famous people? It's like, well, no, just because, aside from the occasional, like Rob Paulson or the occasional voice talent, because I love those people, but when it comes to celebrities, we tend to shy away. We stick with the people we think underground.
Yeah.
We interview our underground artists, and we try to support them as much as we can. And Richard, it's very hard for me to walk away from any show without some swag, especially art. My walls are adorned with sketches and prints of people that we know or people that we've just met. And it's been really hard on me this season because, with no shows, it was really hard for me to support those people. But this is almost like a PSA, Richard, where remember, just because the cons aren't going, what the hell? I didn't even touch my mouse. Like, wow. Just because the shows and cons aren't active right now does not mean that those people are not still active. There's websites. You can always go to their website to purchase their sketches. Oh, is Molly on? Okay. Oh, don't go anywhere, Molly, because I'm talking to you right now. One of the people that absolute favorite people in the entire world is Molly Durst. And not only is Molly a fantastic artist and creator, she's been doing some dabbling in T-shirts lately through her page. God, we can't do the thing anymore, Richard. I didn't think about it. I should have made a fake banner to put down here. But it's Geek Out Art. And Molly has shared some fantastic T-shirts that she's created. And I'm so glad I hope she's still there because I wore this for you, Molly. I saw this shirt and I love the fact that I can show the shirt, Richard, because frontward camera, but it's still showing it right. I bought this shirt within 5 minutes. 5 minutes of seeing it on Molly's page, which you can find on Facebook under Geek Out Art. It'll give you a link to her sites where you can purchase a shirt. I believe it's, I want to say Store Envy. There's so many of it. It's like Store Envy or something, but you can find it there. Ow! Third. Yes. If you, damn it. If you go, where's my finger at? If you go,
that's right.
Oh, look at me. I'm scrolling right now. Oh, I love modern technology. Look, wait. Oh, scroll. There's the other one I purchased. Wait, scroll back for a second, Richard. That's the other one I ordered and haven't gotten yet. I'm taking credit for that shirt. I'm not taking credit for the saying, but I mentioned to Molly that it should be on a shirt, and it says Ohio, the heart of it, Ope. And yes, I am wearing this shirt proud. Oh, bless Rich. Yeah, I have a hand in that shirt, and pretty soon I'm going to have a torso in it. But no, I recently purchased this shirt from Molly through her store, Geek Out Art. That's one way you can help people. The other thing here lately, Richard, I'm sorry, I'm going to be, but I'm doing this for our friends. Here recently, too, a lot of our artist friends, since the cons and shows haven't been on there, they've been doing live sketches. They've, been doing, Sean Forney's been doing a lot of sketches. Rodney Fike's been doing a lot. Richard, I'm missing some people. Who else have been doing live sketches here lately?
Freestyle and those guys. Mike and
yes. Yeah, Mike Watson, Victor Dandridge has been doing a lot of videos of his productions and everything.
Ren has too.
Yes. Here very recently, our friend Rodney Fike, who, if you've come to my house or if you've seen pictures, I have quite a few of Rodney's works hanging up on my walls. I have an Aquaman. I have a canvas print of his Captain America hanging up in my living room that I display proudly. Here recently, he did a live comic book sketch of Baby Yoda. And I couldn't have smacked that add to cart button quicker because he knew I was just like, oh, bam. Because he posted on there, if you're interested, DM me. And I was just like, and I'm happy and proud to say this right here is an original Rodney Fike sketch cover of Baby Yoda. And I love it. It will this will be framed and hung up, and you can find all of Rodney. Look, I can do it. All of Rodney's stuff there. You can find him on our old episodes. I've gotten a chance to sit down and talk to Rodney quite a few times. I do. I loved it. It's just, I'm gonna go Spaceballs real quick, Richard. Adorable. Mwah. Another person that yes, yes, yeah, that's it. And you know what? This is why I love this technology. I can go back anytime I want to now and show people the video of him. This isn't a print. This isn't a copy. This is the original. If you will smudge, which is why it's going to be framed and hung on my wall, because I am a klutz. Another person that I've helped out. I shouldn't say helped out, but I've purchased from recently. One of my favorite comic or web comic creators. His name is Yale Stewart. You can find his work on Facebook. He does a web comic called JL8. That's JL. The number 8, and it's just what it sounds like. It's the Justice League as 8-year-olds, and it is one of the most heartwarming, touching, sweet books, sweet strips I have ever read. And it was one of those things where I'd put it off and put it off. It was actually kind of funny because I recently purchased a print from him, an autographed print from him. And Richard, God's honest truth, the day I went to post that picture, it showed up on my Facebook memories.
Oh, wow.
From 3 years ago. I swear to God, because I even made a Facebook post about it. From 3 years earlier that I said, it was one of those, this will be mine. And here is the piece right here. It's entitled, We Will Be Giants. And as you can see, here are the little JLA members. You see adorable little Hal Jordan using his ring to tap on Batman's shoulder. Little Clark, little Wonder Woman, little Power Girl, here's John Jones, Flash and Barry. How does this work? Where am I at? But when you pan back, you get to see their shadows of them as their adult shadows. So there's the kids. And there's their shadows. I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces. And it's very funny because not a half an hour ago, just a few minutes before me and Richard got on, I went to bring up his website to make sure that I knew what it was so I could tell you where to find. If you go to his Facebook page, it'll give you a link to it. But it's Yale Stewart .bigcartel.products, and you can find all of his original sketches there. I mean, like pre-inked sketches. And actually, I think I can, Richard. I'm gonna jinx myself because what happened is when I brought up his site, so I made sure what it was. I saw the print I'd never seen before, and this is it right here. It's the Ghostbusters as kids. And what's a nice little touch about it is if you notice their proton packs and the traps look like the old real Ghostbusters Kenner toys. Oh, and wow. Once again, I smacked that add to cart button as fast as I could. So that should be coming in a few weeks. And the one last one that I have is one of my really good friends. Her name is Kinsey Lynn. I am in the Heroes for Hope with her. Not only is she an amazing cosplay artist, she is also a great artist. I saw this print. You're going to see a theme here, Richard. I saw this print. Yeah, I saw this print and had to have it. I love it. It's hanging up. Again, you can find her stuff on Facebook. Just look up one word, Kinsey Creations. That's Creations with a K. You can find her at facebook.com/Kinsey Creations or KinseyCreations.StoreEnvy. I purchased that. Part of the reason why it took me so long to buy that, Richard, is this was a person that I saw not regularly, but I was like, I'm going to buy this from you, but I wanted to buy it from her in person. You know, like, here's my money, taking the print. But once all this stuff happened, I would realize, this is going to be a while before I get to see a lot of these people. And I know a lot of these people, they really need the help right now. So once again, it was add to cart. So yeah, I know this has been really long-winded, even for me, but it's a PSA. If you're watching this and you're missing your comic book conventions or the toy shows, you can still help and support these people, and you can still get some really dope ass stuff to hang up on your walls, man. Just because the shows physically aren't there doesn't mean the artists aren't. So I would suggest, I know Jesse Noble's still been doing a lot on the Gem City page, doing stuff like auctions, right, Rich?
Yeah, that's on his Gem City Comics page.
Yes, the Gem City Comics page. Yes, thank you. So yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to those people. Rodney, Yale's he's one of those guys. I would love to meet him in person, but I believe he's out on the West Coast, and I follow him on Facebook. He's done smaller shows out there, but nothing that we're close to.
Road trip.
And dude, I'm telling you, the second we get that, and it's going to happen, but the second we get dude, I swear to God, Richard, I will take a week off of work and I will get in my car and effing disappear.
Yeah,
it's going to be.
I know. I wanted to do something after I graduated, and I just don't want to drive anywhere.
I know. Even today, Richard, I have to admit something today. I wouldn't say we broke quarantine, but today was my great nephew's 6th birthday.
Oh.
And me, my dad, my family's very close. Me, my dad, my sister, niece, nephews, and theirs. We haven't seen each other. And today was his birthday, and we got together. But we were still, I got a hug, which I desperately needed. But we still agreed. We're still taking this seriously. This was I hate to say get out of jail free card, but we know that this isn't going to be a weekly thing. If it hadn't been for, his 6th birthday, we right. wouldn't have done what we did. And, I know my family, I know that they take it seriously, where they work, they're wearing a mask. My dad's retired. He hasn't left the house aside from going fishing, But it was a nice little get out. But we still take this quarantine seriously, and I have nothing but faith that the vaccine is coming. And dude, I can't wait until the next Gem City after the post-COVID, Richard, because man, it's gonna be. I'm telling you, I'm going on record right now, Richard. This might be one of the first ones because me and you, we usually drive down there,
right?
I'm really thinking this is going to be the year I get a hotel room and I'm going to get crunk and lit, as the kids say. Dude, we're we're gonna party like it's 1999. You know,
Amanda, are
I
you
am.
watching this?
Oh, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be that drunk bastard, you know, crawling down the hallway. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm 43 years old. It's gonna be like a bottle. It's gonna take one of the airplane bottles of schnapps, you know, something, you know, like Appletini or whatever. But I really plan on it. I'm really hoping to, Richard.
Then
It's
he'll
gonna
have his
be.
walker. He'll be on his walker going down the
Oh,
hallway.
oh my God. I'll work around it, Rich. I'll go as the little old bald man from Up. You know, bald beard. It's not that far of a stretch, Richard. You know, it is. It's gonna be something else, and I can't wait for it. But yeah, like I said, you know, we've seen so many of the awesome. They're still doing it. So many of the awesome. Cosplay videos, you know, the pass the mic thing or whatever, you know, I've gotten to do a couple of those. The story times, you know, we're nerds. We'll find our way. We live sheltered, Richard. We live you know, we'll find a way to still connect to people. So yeah, the prints and the artwork, it's still out there. You can still find it. Just, you know, go to Facebook. And help your friends out is basically what I'm saying. And help your friends out. And Rich, I've babbled for the last hour. I'm getting lightheaded. Please, what have you got?
Well, we really haven't talked about Agent of Shields.
Thank you. God, I'm sorry. I know. We have the joke. You know, we called it. We talk too much, but that really was important for me, Richard, because I see so many of our friends. You know, a lot of them are. I don't want to say struggling. They're doing well. You know, they're still keeping their head above water. They're trying. What a lot of people don't understand is a lot of people think that, you know, when you think comic book shows, you know, you think of just, you know, a bunch of people with, you know, long boxes of comic books and toys and action figures and statues. But so many of those people are independent artists that rely on, you know, that income, you know, to be able to continue to do what they do.
Right.
So do your part, buy some art. Oh my Jesus, Molly, are you still there? I'm giving you that one. Do your part, buy some art. I'm taking dibs on that. That's mine. You heard it here first, people. Do your part, buy some art. So yeah, Richard, Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it, Rich.
Time travel.
And I like the way they're doing the time travel. I really did think that it was going to be just in the 40s. I didn't know that it was going to be that they were going to pull a what was that old TV show, Explorers? Remember the guy with the pocket watch, and you know, or even, you know what I mean? That it was going to be a thing where they followed him through time. I thought it was just going to be them trying to still F everything up in the 40s, but when they jumped to what was it, Richard? The 60s?
No, 54.
The 54. Thank you.
Yeah, the UFO incident where they, you know,
you knew, and I'm not disappointed. I know it was low-hanging fruit to do the whole, you know, Roswell thing, but, you know, they owned it, man. Especially that bit with the senator guy at the end.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you ever tell anybody. God, man.
And then when she dressed up like Agent Carter.
Oh, she did that brilliantly, but the second, you know, you saw her, you knew it was going to bite him in the ass just because it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And she did a fantastic job. I did like the one joke that the one guy made that when he said her accent was completely unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, that was hilarious.
Yeah, when Quake go, you shouldn't tell her that or something like that.
No, you should go tell her that.
Yeah, you should go tell her that, yeah.
You should go tell her that. But I liked the way that they balanced out how do I put it? They didn't ignore that the characters like May and Mac, who even Yo-Yo, who weren't exactly as accepted in those time periods as they are today. It was nice that I would say nice. That's they acknowledged it. That was important that they acknowledged it, you know. And it was
like
really
Coulson, I like Coulson when he met the one from Agent Carter.
Yeah, the guy with the cane.
Yeah.
God, man, that was, and it was great that they got him too. They got the actor to do that, you know.
And he's coming back next week too, right? Because they're going to do another episode. Yeah.
Yes, because that was another part of that was another one of your favorite things, Richard, was at the end of the first episode when Enoch literally misses the bus.
Oh yeah.
When the ship jumped, what was the lesson they learned, Rich?
Oh yeah, they have to make sure they're in the air flying.
Because you're here in, you know, this time period, but in this time period, you know, there might not be any ground underneath you. They're just like, oh crap, we're in a dive.
And then when Enoch got left behind, you know, I still think he knew he was supposed to be there, so that's why he just stayed.
Yeah, but and having Patton Oswalt not come back but come back as the family member of that last name, you know.
Yeah, the grandfather.
I always enjoy seeing him because he is the biggest, in real life, one of the biggest fanboys you've ever met. And you know damn well he's like a kid in a candy store every time he got to be on that set. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that was so funny. Well, when he was saying he wants to know everything about robots, and Enoch goes, your sons or your grandsons will.
Mm-hmm. And I love that little bit between the two of them when he takes over, or not takes over, but when he becomes a bartender at the speakeasy. He's like, and he pours it to Patton Oswalt. He's like, this is delicious. You know, this is my signature drink. I was like, that was so great. I'm really enjoying this season. And the stuff with the space race, that was great, you know. The whole when they finally got the senator guy to crack, it's like, it'll never work. It's not powerful enough, you know. But then they're like, oh, but it would work with a Chronocon's battery cell. You know, it's like, and we got to see Phil Coulson. We haven't got to see him fanboy out like that since he met Captain America. Like, you could just read it on his face. You know, he was just like, I love everything about being where I'm at right now. And I can think of nobody better to have at your side in that situation, in that time period, in that place than Phil Coulson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he is the Wikipedia of S.H.I.E.L.D. history. And I loved the moments with him and Gemma when they were interviewing the people.
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious, man. When they were like trying to do, what was it? It was kind of like the test from Blade Runner. I can't remember.
Yeah.
The comp test or whatever, you know, when they try to elicit a response to see if they were. When he interviewed the old lady on the bus, I almost pissed myself laughing. Like, and you see a turtle and you turn it over. Why would you do that? And she starts weeping. He's like, I'm sorry, you passed. I do. That was the great thing is this season we got to see. Granted, he's a life model decoy, but we got to see Phil Coulson be Phil Coulson.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the von Kampf test.
Thank you. Yes. we got to see him full on. And one thing about it, Richard, what do you think? Agent May, something ain't right there, man. They called it out too, but even we saw it, from, as spectators.
Right.
Like they even mentioned, even if she wasn't accepting as Coulson being an LMD, there still should have been some kind of emotional response, like maybe, like heartbroken, like
Yeah.
you're you, but you're not you. But there was nothing, And I did like when Mac mentioned it's time to call in the cavalry, and what's the name looks at it, it's like, oh, that's what we call May.
Yeah.
It was a nice callback because we haven't heard her be called the cavalry for a long time.
Well, she's been through a lot,
Oh
her
my God,
ex-husband
yes.
dying, Coulson dying, she's got to be ready to snap.
Oh yeah.
And then getting basically killed,
Oh, she was dead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll wrap this up before the season's over. Because this is the last season.
Yeah, and we know because even Enoch said something like she wasn't quite done yet. In the healing process.
Oh yeah.
But goddamn, it was good to see her kick ass, though, man. I love Min Na Wen, man. I have such a crush on her, and to see her just like when she was doing the thing when she was hiding up on the ceiling, you're like, oh, that's badass. Anything else, Rich? Because man, we're still in kind of a. We're still kind of in a drought, I mean, we're getting a little bit of oasis, from like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I think I think even Rich is Legends done for the season now?
Yeah. All the CW is technically done.
Okay,
yeah.
Because because Legends always ran kind of differently than the other CW shows. They always came on a little bit later anyways.
Yeah, they actually finished their whole season. That's why they had the 2 more episodes. Where all the other ones had to stop production, they actually were filmed ahead of time, so they were actually done. When they had their like full season, but they're done for the season. So I can't remember. Swamp Thing will be popping up on CW pretty soon. I think that's in July. So we'll get those 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And then CW has bought some old British shows too. So they're going to be, I think they're starting to put them in rotation now too. So,
cool.
I don't know. It's just a different thing right now, with all the streaming stuff, That's just like Disney Plus, they just debuted our Artemis Fowl.
Thank you for reminding me. I know what I'm doing when we're done. I forgot. I saw it earlier today because I thought it was just another preview, but it's like, no, this is.
Yeah, it was June the 12th is when it debuted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It debuts. Do you know what else, Richard? They're showing on Disney Plus right now. I'll give you a hint. I'm just a bill. I'm just a bill on Capitol. Oh, Schoolhouse Rock is our Disney Plus. I have a great nephew who just turned 6 today that I mentioned this to my nephew. I was like, please show this to him. Because I'm pretty sure, growing up, they watched it too. I know I watched. I'm going to go back and rewatch them. I think especially with everything going on in the world right now, we needed Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, yeah.
It came to us in a time of need, Yeah, there's been some new original content dropped on Netflix. I just got done watching. It's called Crossing Swords.
Oh yeah.
It was entertaining, unlike anything you've ever seen. Imagine like Disenchantment, the animated show, mixed with Robot Chicken, done with like wooden Weeble Wobble type.
Okay.
It was interesting, definitely for grown-ups though.
Oh,
definitely. Yeah, it's very weird seeing little Weeble Wobble boobies. Let me put it to you that way. That was a little unsettling. There's been some stuff on Hulu original programming that's dropped. There's a lot out there, yeah. Especially, I think I think we're going to see a lot of animated, because I think they figured out, animated stuff's still one of those things that you can do under quarantine. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to worry about people being on set. You don't have to worry about stage hands, and being on location. Yeah, there was another show on Netflix that just got I think JoJo and the Age of the Wonder Beast, which is another one of those animated shows that I really enjoyed. It kind of snuck up on me that just dropped. That, I don't know the details or the logistics behind it, but to me, it's difficult but not undoable with, animators working from home. Okay. The voiceover people acting from home. It's still possible, but yeah, there's still stuff dropping.
Well, the animators work from home too, so.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yes. Yeah.
Even the drawing stuff and everything, that's all done at home too, because you can have your computers linked all together. Because a lot of this new software, you do your part and then it gets shipped over and then it gets put together and stuff. So at least that's what we learned in class.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Richard, I think it could be a benefit, because I'm a huge fan of voiceover talent. And I know it's possible to do this, over the phone, but a lot of the voiceover people that we have talked to before, a lot of the shows, some of the earlier shows, they used to have the entire cast together and, act out the entire scene together. But a lot of them veered away from that, where they would have this actor read all of his parts and then be on his way. Right. This actor would come in and read their parts out of the way. Well, with things like this, in Zoom, it's a lot more doable to have the actors doing it together.
Right.
You see what I'm saying, Richard?
Yeah.
It might not always be a time thing, but this actor lives in Hollywood, this actor lives in New York. Yeah. And we know from talking to voiceover actors that they seem that they always prefer to do the readings together, because there's a better dynamic flow. You heard the inflection in this person's voice, so you could respond adequately. Instead of just reading the line of dialogue, act surprised. Well, there's a level of surprise that you're going to get from hearing that person speak to you. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that interaction, because I know even like us, we have trouble even back when we was doing the phone, because we couldn't see each other, and we was always off a little bit, and I always have trouble on the phone talking sometimes, because I remember something in the middle of the conversation, I have to blurt it out or I'll forget it.
This really has helped me too, Richard, because I am very easily distracted, and when I'm on the phone, oh, hey, but at least, here now, I get to see you, I get to talk to you and take your cues. But, gosh, I'm trying to think. There's still stuff out there. There's still content coming, and
Hollywood opened up just now. This week they announced the set guidelines for on the sets and stuff like that. So I would see things starting to take off again. Yeah, I know, like in Europe, they already got their stuff in place and stuff. I think the soap scene over there has already jumped back on. So.
Right, and I know one of the ones that got hit that I was really disappointed about is they moved back to production on Witcher season 2.
Yeah,
and where it films, they were a lot more stringent about their quarantining and everything. They took it uber seriously,
yeah.
There's that saying now, when Ireland is closing pubs, shit got real. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're starting to open everything back up, and productions are being scheduled again. So it shouldn't be too long. And I'm not saying it's perfect timing, Richard, but we are coming up on the summer season. It was going to be reruns anyways,
Right. Well, we don't have reruns as much as they used to, though.
No, we don't.
That's what streaming
No,
now.
we don't.
Because streaming is like everywhere now.
Yeah. Oh my God, Richard, there's one of those things. Because remember, for a while, the old joke was, oh, you show a payphone to a kid and a teenager, they don't know what it is. Now you mention a rerun. Like, what's a rerun? It's like, oh my God, Richard, we've circled back, Richard, because Back to the Future, when Marty's with his mom having family dinner, it's like, oh, I remember that show. I remember watching it on a rerun. And her little brother's like, what's a rerun?
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know because those had never happened. Now we've come full circle where the kids are so young, they don't watch TV like we used to. It's like, what's a rerun?
Right.
History is repeating itself, Richard.
Well, I think the last payphone just left the Vegas airport. I was watching a special, and there's this guy going around taking out all the payphones.
Oh, my God.
Because it was costing him more to keep them running than actually have them in place.
Yeah.
That's sad.
No, you know what that honest to God just made me think of, Richard? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. When Ford and Arthur are on that ship with the people on the B arc from God, I want to say Gallifrey. I know it's not Gallifrey, but they're on the ship with all the middle management and TV producers and the telephone sanitizers, and it turns out that their original civilization was wiped out because of a plague because there was no telephone sanitizers. Oh my God, Richard! Talk about coming full circle. Oh man. Oh, I know. I don't have much to talk about on it, but it was just dropped. Technically yesterday, the announcement of the PS5.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Two things I have to say about it is I know there's other games, but the first game that they've really put front and center, and you can see the trailer for it online, is the Spider-Man game. Which is going to center around Miles Morales. Now, I just had this conversation with my nephew earlier. He goes, I thought it was just an expansion to the other Spider-Man game. I was like, no, this is a completely separate game. The last Spider-Man that came out that featured Miles Morales as a background player, there was DLC to play as Miles Morales as Spider-Man. This game that they're going to have at launch is going to be Miles Morales.
Cool.
And dude, it looked so awesome. And PlayStation announced too that they were going to do something new. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to offer two different types of consoles. One is going to be your standard console that's disc driven, and the other one is going away from the physical copy altogether and is going to be a strictly digital download format.
Oh yeah.
I think that's going to be interesting. I don't know exactly. I'm of that generation, Richard, where I still want that physical copy in my hand, but you know what I mean? I think it's a fascinating idea that that they'll do away with it. And I don't know, that system might end up being cheaper if you think about it, Richard, because it won't need the hardware inside to run the disc,
right?
And the ejection button and all that stuff. I could imagine it being cheaper, but me and a friend of mine, we made a joke about it earlier. It's like when they announced that they were going to have a strictly digital console, the people at GameStop were like, oh no, how are we going to offer people $1.95 for their trade-in? If there's no trade-ins, It's like that brand new copy of Spider-Man. Yeah, sure, we'll give you $5 for it. Now there's no digital. Now there's no physical copy for trade-ins. What's GameStop gonna do? But I no real exact details as to the price and the exact release. I know they're saying 2021 or possibly holiday of 2020 possibly. But man, I'm looking forward to that, Rich.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be.
And they even announced about the Xbox new, the refrigerator.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, man. Is I don't know between Xbox and PlayStation. I don't know who developed the aesthetic look for both of those systems. Bruh, come on, man. Because the Xbox, didn't they learn anything from the Dreamcast, the Cube? It didn't. It's still a great system, but it didn't really go over well. Like literally, did the people at Xbox not look at the GameCube and just say, let's take the GameCube. Yeah, let's take the GameCube and just spray paint it black. And then the PlayStation. Oh my God, dude! You want to talk about? Here's how creative the internet is. It was less than a day that they released what the PlayStation 5 was going to look like. In the memes, I shared one. It looks like somebody took an original Nintendo Wii, and a router.
Oh yeah,
and smushed them together. The memes went crazy. It really does. The PlayStation 5 looks like a router. But it doesn't matter. Don't care. I'll still get it, and I'll still put it in my shelf and still play it. So, yeah. So we at least we have that to look forward to. No real other words yet on like backwards capability, anything like that. But it was neat. It's been neat seeing that the systems are there and they're going to be available soon.
Yeah, because like we're not gonna have E3, so we won't get any debut stuff or anything. So
yeah,
this whole year, like you said, everything's canceled.
Yeah, it's so what you get. It's like one of those things, Richard, where you got to be careful what you wish for. People is like, oh, I wish I could live through a historic moment in time. Like, watch how you phrase stuff. We wanted to see stuff. We wanted historical, like SpaceX, not the bubonic plague. Phrase your wording carefully.
Yeah, I love the SpaceX touchscreens.
Yeah. Oh shit! Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh, the other big thing, Rich. Bill and Ted.
Oh yeah.
How did we almost forget to talk about Bill and Ted? It's not a rumor. It's not a fanboy fever dream. It's really, not only is it going to happen, we got the first trailer for Bill and Ted 3. And it looked fantastic. My only beef with it still is, though, I love the idea of the story. It's still really hard for them not to make Keanu Reeves look buff. You know what I mean? It is really hard to hide that John Wick body behind some slacker clothes. You know what I mean? Like, you look at him and he's got the long hair and he still sounds like him. Right. But you're like, dude, you look like you could bench press the phone booth. And I know the preview looks great. I know the idea is, it's them, older, and they didn't really fulfill the prophecy that they were set out to. I believe they've got kids. We just talked about we just literally talked about it, Richard, seconds ago. I'm waiting for their daughters to look at the phone booth and go, "What is that?" That is going to be, oh yeah. But yeah, dude, can you believe it, Richard? It's actually going to happen. How long? We're talking like more than a decade that the hope and dream for Bill and Ted 3 was going to be a thing. And we know that, you know, Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, it wasn't like either of them were against it. They both wanted it. It just, for some reason, never happened or could never happen. And somebody worded their wish right, Richard. Like, we're giving you a wish. I want Bill and Ted 3, but I want this list of stuff. You know what I mean? They added addendums to the wish. So, Rich, you got anything else? We're hitting on the hour and a half mark.
Yeah, this is about it.
I said it last week, Richard. I think after the hour mark, this has just become for me and you, because you know it's hard enough to watch a high budget movie for an hour and a half. Nobody wants to watch these two bald schlubs talk about. But anything else, Rich, that you can think of?
No, like I said, hopefully things will get back in production. Maybe we'll get some new stuff, and hopefully everybody remains safe during the production stuff. You know.
Yes. We usually say this at the beginning of every episode. We really hope that everybody is staying safe. Everybody's staying healthy, doing what you can. Be safe, be kind. Richard, where can they find us out on the... Well, I'm thinking about, Richard, this right here, what we're doing right here, this even after COVID, I guarantee this is probably not going to be a regular thing, because I love being able to do a show with you in person, but it's nice knowing that this is available now.
Yeah.
It's 9:00 at night, you know, as when we started this. There's been many times me and you have been wanting to do a show where we couldn't, because like maybe the comic book store was hosting a HeroClix tournament, or I had something going on the day, you had something going on, and it was hard for us to get together at night because we don't live 5 minutes from each other, you know. So again, this is one of those great technological advancements that's come from, you know, everything that's going on right now. But Rich, where can people still find us and hear us at?
UndergroundVideoNetwork.com. Just go there.
You
and
son of a bitch!
Then follow all these little links right here.
He does that because he knows I have to do this on my phone, and I can't do that. Now you're just bragging. But yes. Oh, man.
There we go. I was in the wrong screen.
I would be too terrified to do that, Richard, because I'd be terrified I would pop my screen up, and I would be smart about having, you know, nothing on the screen, but somebody be like, hey, Mike, one of your bookmarks, you might want to take that. You might want to take that down. Yeah, like a friend of ours is going to be like, you might want to.
I had to do this for class, so I had to make sure everything was okay before I did that.
It's like, Mike, thanks for making me aware of that link, but you might want to take it down. So, on behalf of Richard and myself, we hope everybody's staying safe, being kind to one another. Thank you. If you watch this, thank you for taking the time. Just thank you. You know, it's like the Golden Girls said, Richard, thank you for being a friend. We've traveled down that road and back. I gotta stop. I'm gonna get that song stuck in my head. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Rich, thanks for putting this together. It's great seeing you. I love doing this. I really do.
Later.